Hello and welcome back to Charging Status, the EV Focus podcast brought to you from The Interface. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Jim Starling. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing all right, thank you. You good?
Yeah, not too bad. Do you like how I try and make that sound really natural?
Yeah.
Hi, Alex. How are you? Like we haven't been speaking for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, all very authentic.
I think
very,
so.
very good.
So this is the first time we've chatted, I think, in person, even though we're not in person. But you get my point. Since the Everything Electric show in London at the XL.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that show. We both went on. Was it the first? It was the second day, I think. It wasn't the first day. Couldn't make it for that one.
Yeah.
One of the things we both noticed when we walked in, I don't think you didn't go to the one last year. I did. It was a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot smaller for some reason. I think the timing of it for them was over the school holidays potentially, so people's availability was a little bit less than it would be. But I thought they had a good amount of stuff on show, and we bumped into a lot of people that we know as well. So shout out to Graham Cobb, who I've done a video with before, and he writes on my website now and again. So that was good to see him and his wife. So yeah, it was a good show.
I sort of feel like the show for me was more about the people than the stands.
Yeah,
I was a bit underwhelmed by what was actually there. I think it was a really good chance for people to go and test drive some cars en masse, but obviously being completely selfish about it, that I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But I understand that lots of people do. But it was a bit underwhelming, and it was very small. I'd have been upset if I'd have paid 30 quid to get in. I don't know what. I think they did cheap tickets again towards the end.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's almost one show too many now. So they do the north, they do the south, and then you've got that one as well. But it's a great chance to do some networking. Gutted I didn't get a chance to catch up with a couple of people. I completely ignored my chum Arn from Ancharge, which was a shame. I was hoping to say hello to him. And yeah, shame I didn't get to chat with more people. I had 3 encounters with viewers of my channel in the gents' toilets, which is not as suspicious as it sounds. But one of them was quite odd because a couple of them, doing your business, turn around and someone says, "Oh, hello," while you're washing your hands or whatever, which is totally fine. But one, I was standing having a pee at the urinal. You don't get this on a lot of electric car podcasts, by the way. But I was having a pee at the urinal, and someone came right up next to me, and I was the only other person using the urinals, and you think, why haven't they gone down there? Why has someone come this close? And said, £10 Tesla. And I just said that there's a time and a place, mate, and this is neither. Can you wait until we've disarmed ourselves, and then we'll have a chat? And we both had a good laugh about it, actually. But yeah, that was a new one for me. I thought that was interesting.
There we go.
But yeah, it's great to see Graham. Great to see Patrick, who was on his way to China with his daughters the next day.
Yeah,
and so many people we sort of ran into, and really nice to say hello to a lot of people that watch the content, and even one or two that listen to the podcast. You know who you are. Oh. I also had a long chat with TV's Maddie Moat, who owes a special place in our family's heart because especially our daughter was just obsessed with her TV show when growing up. So that she does these really great sort of science-based kid shows on BBC, and she was lovely actually. And we had a long chat about the perils of being a YouTuber. But yeah, so it was more about the people for me.
I think so.
And I must also shout out my good buddy Jerome Andre, who was there doing some work for Felton, who had the sort of Resto Mod Classic Mini with the EV conversion in it. That was actually a customer car that they had there. They didn't have the Mr. Bean one that I was messing about on the roof of a couple of months ago. But Jerome's an absolutely brilliant guy, and I meant to introduce you to Jerome actually, and completely forgot. Also had a good chat with the guys doing the, is it UK or EV salvage? I can't quite remember the name, but guys from Northern Ireland who had basically made a convertible Tesla, and then
I saw that. Yeah.
also had a Tesla race car, which looks amazing. So yeah, really good to see people doing innovative stuff now, and I think we're starting to see the seeds of an enthusiast scene for EVs that's
I think so.
more than just I like Nissans, or I like a Nissan Note. It's now getting to the point of people modifying them and doing silly things with them. And Jerome's got a really good channel actually, which is called Outrun over on YouTube. If you want to follow him on Twitter, it's Outrun YT. Can I still say Twitter, or do I have to say X?
I do.
Yeah.
I say it all the time.
Yeah, at Outrun YT, but he does lots of stuff with like modified EVs.
Right.
And it's really interesting. Lots of it's filmed over in the US, and there seems to be quite a big scene for it over in the US. People spending serious amounts of money on making something truly unique. So really interesting to see that side of things starting to develop.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, talking to Patrick, we were going to test drive the Model Y, the new one, and Patrick tagged along for a ride. So he was in the passenger seat filming all the stuff and asking me questions. So that will probably end up on the internet somewhere at some point. But
Patrick, if you don't know, is the Green Strip Show on on the socials, and he did an epic road trip across Europe where he basically lived in his car. We'll have to get him on at some point.
I don't know if you did, but I also bumped into a friend of the show, Chris. Chris Minisians, I think his last name is.
I didn't run into Chris actually. I completely missed him.
So Chris runs Totally EV. So we had a little chat with him over by the Renault 5. I managed to sit in the Renault 5 for the first time as well. That was cool. Lovely little thing, that car. But yeah, I think it was a good event. But yeah, as we said, a little bit small on the small side, and it definitely was more about the people that we would manage to catch up with than anything else, I think. So.
But by the way, while you were sitting in that Renault 5 having the time of your life, I was being horrible about you to your other half. So, yeah.
Thank you.
But just want to come clean. What have you been driving?
Well, not much EV stuff. I had the Seat Ibiza, which is a little bit old now. Actually, it is getting refreshed at the end of this year. I think there are some pictures out there, and yeah, good little car. I actually nearly bought one of those. So when I was looking to buy my Up, I test drove an Ibiza at the same time and ended up falling in love with the Up instead. So, also Genesis GV70 petrol. Again, another one that's a little bit old. I took that on holiday to South Wales the other week, so that was all good. A little bit thirsty. It's very thirsty actually.
Yeah, it's very thirsty. Yeah.
And then actually on the drive this week is the Tesla Model 3 Performance in a gorgeous colour. It's like a dark blue colour. Really lovely colour. So I took that up to the NEC on Tuesday for the commercial vehicle show in Birmingham. But yeah, the Tesla's good. It's a little bit crashier than, because it's obviously sitting lower and the suspension's a bit stiffer. So it does ride a little bit more crashy than the standard Model 3, and it is, as I said, very low. So it's definitely more.
I haven't driven the Performance actually.
Have you not?
No, but I should book one in really. What about the windscreen reflections? How annoying are they?
It's fine. The only thing with that one is it's the windscreen's filthy because of all the bugs in the air at the moment. So it's really dirty. The windscreen reflection's fine, to be honest.
The windscreen reflections are the bane of my life. I might even. I'm trying to think of a way to actually produce a product that will go over the sort of chrome strip that sits on top of the ambient light bar. Maybe get something 3D printed, but I've had a couple of quotes and the price is just ridiculous, so I could never make it commercially available.
You probably want something like a wrap, like a sticker.
That will do the trick. That's ultimately what I'll end up with, but I always kind of think of, well, how could I make a product to solve a problem? But a sticker's probably the way to go.
Yeah. No,
but I love the car otherwise. But
yeah.
No,
it's awesome. It's ridiculously fast. It's like not 2.9 seconds or something stupid. It is. You can squeeze the pedal for like 50%, and it would just take off. Crazy. And then Tuesday we're recording on Thursday, and Tuesday was the CV show 2025. Really, they seem to have taken the show to another level from last year. So notably, Maxus were missing. So the past 3 shows, Maxus have used that show to debut new vehicles. So they did the T90, then the eDeliver 7, and then the eDeliver 5. They were missing completely. So in their place was Verizon, so that new super van they've got.
Yeah.
And also the sponsor of the whole show was Kia. So they unveiled the new PV5. Had the PV5 Crew, the one with the 3 seats in the back. They had 2 cargos, which we spoke to someone from Kia. They flew in a couple of days beforehand from Korea, and there was bits in the interior which weren't finished. Like the door trim, it was like it looked unfinished. We had to clarify if that was actually final. It's that thing. I think that's what everyone turned up for. So we were there. I went with my dad. We were there at 10:30, and that was the time to announce the PV5. The pricing on that is amazing. So ex VAT 27,645.
Yeah, it's astounding, isn't it? Because you
just
struggle to get a diesel van of that size for that kind of money.
I can't understand that. It's crazy. And then it's 30, just over 30 for the larger battery.
Yeah.
And then we went for I had a look on the spec sheet because they had some iPads out, and the amount of kit you get as standard, which is bananas. Heat pump doesn't come as standard. It's $850 extra, which is a lot less than what you get with the Buzz, because the Buzz has got an optional heat pump as well. I think that was the star of the show, really. Just so impressive. Renault had their new vans as well, so it was weird. There were 2 stands which had identical vans, and there's a company called Flexis, and as it turns out, the new Renault vans are just re-engineered Flexis vans. So these new Flexis vans are like electric vans built with Volvo, and I saw those after the Renault ones. I thought, oh, these look very familiar, and I had a quick Google, and that's what they are. But no, I got interviewed by Renault, so I had to sign.
Oh, really?
I just asked questions about what I thought of the vans, but I had to sign this release form in French. The guy just said, "No, it's don't worry about it. Just sign my
Next
name
week,
on it."
Some Frenchman's going to knock on your door and harvest your organs.
I know,
because you've given him consent.
I know. I don't know what I was signing, but yeah.
Just to go off topic for a second.
Yeah.
Are you wearing branded headphones?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, Beats.
Yeah.
Turn the other way a sec. Oh, do you know what? I just for like a split second, I thought you had your interface logo on the side of them.
Imagine.
I thought, what's going on? Have you been sponsored by Beats or something? But, yeah.
No, I bought these because they were wired. Because when I was first doing podcasting, like using Bluetooth headphones, they kept dying. So I just purchased these on eBay. So.
Wow. Right. Sorry. Yeah. Quick digression.
That's all right. I thought the new Traffic looks interesting. The guy was saying, do you recognise the name Estafette? So there's a Renault Estafette. Apparently that's a name that they used to use in the past. So I just said to him, no, it's before my time. And then there was a little van as well. But they look pretty interesting. And Ford had nothing new at all. They just had their existing lineup, and there was nothing really to see there. What was interesting though is it's not EV related, but there was 60 years of the Transit this year. So they had some heritage fleet. So they had the original Transit on the main floor, and then upstairs, which there was no one there. They had a load of older Ford vans, but they had the Ford Transit Connect. There was a model which they made in the early 2000s with a Ford Focus RS engine.
Oh wow!
So they had that there, and it had like white bucket seats, racing steering wheel, lower suspension. So they had that just chilling out on the foyer. So, it was a good event. for such a, it's a very, it hasn't got the status of all the other motor shows. It's obviously it's more van related, but it has been interesting to go to the past few years, and it's interesting. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, that Kia though looks incredibly impressive. I think it's similar size to the Buzz.
Van.
Yeah.
So the Buzz is more curved on the sides, and they had some Buzzes there from other companies. The Buzz is notably higher, the floor, whereas the Kia, the floor is so low, so you can get it should make loading it a lot easier for certain applications.
What about the roof line? Is that similar to the Buzz, or
that's it's obviously lower off the floor, but I think it seems higher because the Buzz itself is higher. I think Kia have done some interesting packaging with it, so they can get it lower on the floor.
Yeah.
And then they also had the so I don't know if you know, but Kia and Hyundai are going towards Android Automotive.
Yeah.
So the software on the van looks very similar to a Tesla interface.
Right. Okay.
It's very, very similar. But it is familiar to the current software they've got.
Yeah, I saw that in your video actually. Because I think the first one you went in, it was turned off, wasn't it? And you went into the second one. And yeah. I think when we get to a stage where all companies are using platforms designed by tech companies rather than car companies, it is probably going to be a fairly good place to be. Although I've got the Polestar 4 this week, which I'm sure we'll come on to.
Yep. And
that's all Android Google based. And it won't play with my Apple CarPlay.
Ooh. Okay.
It connects absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And then you have to accept some sort of disclaimer on the screen, and every time you press it, it immediately toggles off.
Oh, okay.
So you can't accept it.
Yeah.
And I did a quick Google, and it seems it's a common problem.
I see. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a nice little transition to what you've been up to.
Yeah. So this week I've got the Polestar 4. I've only driven it for about 20 miles so far, but it's just incredibly luxurious, incredibly fast, and quite big actually. The rear screen not being there just seems like a complete and utter gimmick to me.
Right.
You do have a screen for a camera instead of a rear view mirror, which is fine, but you're not able to, adjust your position, which you can with a normal mirror, which is slightly odd. And I also had quite a chilling moment last night where there was a guy right behind the car on a push bike, and he was just staring directly into the camera, and I just caught a glimpse of the mirror, and I've just got someone doing this. And that was interesting. And the other thing is, like, I'm a man of a certain age, and I've reached the point where I have to wear varifocals.
Oh, okay.
And when you've got a screen there, and you just want to glance into it, well, for me, it's all a bit blurry. So I then have to go to see it.
Yeah.
And kind of put my head in a really unnatural position. And I just feel like it's a bit distracting, where with a mirror, you don't quite have that so much.
No.
And you can just, I don't know, it seems a bit pointless, but it's different, and it's bold, and there's not a lot of different and bold in the car industry. So, yeah, I'm not going to beat them up about it. Okay. But it's absolutely lightning fast. And the brakes, I mean, they should have put those brakes on the COVID virus when it came out, because it could stop anything. Seriously, it's unbelievable. Obviously, I'm used to driving EVs, so you get that kind of engine braking, electric motor braking. You've got the regen.
Yep.
But I say engine braking. Don't beat me up in the comments. And you're used to just feathering the brakes a little bit in an EV rather than sort of standing on the brakes. And I find myself when I go into petrol or something, I do stand on the brakes. But you have to sort of breathe on these. It's so keen to stop. And I guess when you've got that much forward propulsion, you need to have the ability to stop quickly, and it certainly does.
Yeah. Well, that's impressive. Yeah. Yeah, really good.
I've also just had the Ford Explorer for a week. A review video for that came out on my channel yesterday or day before. I actually really enjoyed it, and I thought it was better than its VW alternatives, because obviously it's a VW underneath, it's an ID4 underneath, it's that platform. A lot of the switchgear even is completely the same. But I just felt a little bit happier in it, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think from the outside, I think it's a better looking car than the alternatives to my eyes. I know that's a completely subjective thing, but I look at an ID4 and it's just there, where I think the Ford Explorer invokes some kind of emotion from you. You know, you look at it and think yes or no, or
I know.
rather than it blended into the background. Interior quality could be better in places, but again, it felt a little bit nicer than in the VW. You didn't have the slidey controls. Actually, there was a slidey control, but I didn't use it ever because it was a slidey control and it's poo. So forget that. But the aircon controls are on the screen as opposed to being the slideys. And as much as I don't like screen-based controls particularly, they actually work a lot better than those slidey things. And I think it just had a few things going for it. But I guess that's the benefit of releasing a similar car sort of 2 or 3 years after the original came out.
Yep.
The slightly sad thing is it's possibly the nicest Ford I've been in for a long time, and it's a VW.
Yeah. Yeah. I sat in the Capri at the Everything Electric show. And yeah, it's fine. I like the screen that folds away, to put stuff away there. It's like to lock stuff away, but yeah, I thought the quality was decent in those, but yeah, you have got the noticeable, well, the haptic controls on the steering wheel. You've got the noticeable leaking from the VW parts bin. So
but yeah, in general, really like the car, and it was better than I thought it was going to be. So
there we go.
Yeah, I did a lot of miles in that as well.
Did you really? Where did you go in it?
I went to Birmingham. I went to Worcester. I went to Chichester.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
all over the place then. Yeah,
quite a bit. Yeah.
Fair, nice.
Onto the news. Slate Auto Truck. This looks absolutely amazing. This is a little pickup truck, brand new startup company, backed by Jeff Bezos, who I think is one of the significant investors in it.
Yeah.
Is he the main investor, or?
I don't know.
No. Only one model offered at present, or when it starts, called Truck, which I could see what they were going for there. A couple of different battery options, and then everything else is sold as accessories. So you've got like an SUV conversion kit. They've kind of gone for that Ford Bronco kind of thing, where you could almost make a truck to whichever flavour suits you the best. And it looks like a really cool platform where you just buy the basic truck and then sort of modular. You buy this bit and bolt it on if you want it to be this, or this bit and bolt it on if you want it to be that.
Yep.
And it's a really cool looking thing as well. But the price is unbelievable, isn't it?
I can't believe it's that cheap. Yeah. Crazy.
From $20,000. That's with those US EV incentives though, but I think it's only, is it $28,000 without?
Yep.
And I mean, the pickup market in the US is unbelievable. I mean, if ever you go over there, you just look around and there are pickups everywhere on the road. And if you saw my video of the LA Auto Show, you would see how many of the cars there were pickups. You know, it is huge over there.
Yeah. I did see a few people on Twitter whinging about its range and size, but because it is quite small. There was a comparison to like an 80s pickup truck I think a Toyota that was the same sort of size, but it's quite a diddy truck. There's, as you said, there's loads of accessories, so you can convert it to an SUV pretty easily. You can swap out the front badge where it says Slate. You can put something else in there. And what's interesting is that the whole body is plastic, polycarbonate. So they said, we designed this truck to be wrapped, so you can customize it how you want. So it only comes out the factory with two options: is the battery sizes. I actually did watch the keynote presentation thing from the CEO, and the whole team seemed really enthusiastic about it. I know it's all marketing stuff, but it seemed really promising. So at the moment they said it just says US only, and it's going to launch end of next year. I don't know if it'll ever be sold here, but it might be. So who knows?
I hope it is, because I'd love one. That's a bit of me. That is. You do see still a few small pickups around in the US as well. I mean, some of them are older, but I mean, the Ford Maverick is a thing over there, which is not a massive pickup truck.
No, that's very true. Yeah,
more kind of car derived pickup. And you see lots of the old Toyota and Mazda things knocking around. Obviously, people with like classic El Caminos and stuff. So I think there is a market for small pickups. That's probably completely underserved or not served at all at the moment. Or you've got that, the Mavericks are probably a bit bigger than this.
I think it is, yeah.
But you do see people, particularly in California, you'll see people driving around in smallish cars. You see loads of Civics on the road and those kind of things. And probably a lot of those people would love a pickup, but maybe it doesn't fit into their lifestyle, or they want a pickup, but they don't want one that comes with its own postcode, as most of them do. Yeah. So I think they could do very, very well.
They could do, yeah. So what's interesting as well, the interior, it's got manual windows. If you want electric ones, you can add those afterwards, like with a kit. It's got no infotainment screen, but it has got over-the-air software updates. So how that works is like you just download it on your phone and then transfer it to the car. There's a tablet holder, so you can put an iPad in as your infotainment. Yeah. There's manual climate control, so they've big 3 knobs in the center of the interior, so just for your climate. It's really back to basics, and you can. Their whole push was that when you buy a car, there's so much stuff that comes with it you've got to pay for that you might not necessarily need. They said with this, you can buy the car or the truck and then add stuff as you need as you go. So I think it's got potential. It looks interesting. Hopefully they do well and don't go bankrupt, because there's been a few EV manufacturers or startups that have gone bankrupt recently. So hopefully they can hold it out. So
yeah, at least with Jeff Bezos having some skin in the game, that would probably bring in some other investors. And of course, he could dip into his sizable purse at any given moment, I guess. Yeah. If it made sense to do so.
Yeah. There's 52.7 or 84.3 kilowatt hour battery packs. It says up to 240 miles of range. That's based on the EPA test cycle, so it might change.
EPA's quite a good one, though.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's much more realistic than WLTP.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Charging is done via NACS, which is Tesla's standard in America, and it says up to 120 kilowatt DC charging, which is all right.
It's not terrible, is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the other thing I forgot to mention, it doesn't come with speakers, so you can. There's no radio, so you can add those afterwards if you want.
Yeah.
You can add in a Bluetooth speaker, or just the entire dashboard. It looks like it's quite modular, so you can just add those in.
That's great. That's great, though. It means people will make them individually theirs. And, I think that's a brilliant concept.
Me too. I'm yeah, it's cool. It's nice to see something brand new. So
yeah.
The other week there was the Shanghai Motor Show, which I've got a bit of FOMO because I would have loved to go to that. It looks so interesting. Robert Llewellyn and Elliot Richards from Fully Charged, they did an hour-long video, which I watched, which was awesome. Just them walking around the whole show. I think Elliot mentioned in the video there were 16 halls or 16 buildings for the whole show, and it seemed like the way it was geared up is that each hall is a parent company. So SAIC had one hall, so did BYD, right. And it was really bizarre because in China, VW has got a relationship with XPeng, but they've also got a relationship with someone else. So VW had 2 or 3 stands, but in different halls for their different models that they make.
Right. Yep.
It's really weird, but it's
Yeah,
obviously
that is
how
odd.
it works. Yeah. It looks so bananas and just so unusual to what we're used to here, because they had cars covered in fur and bunny ears and all
Yeah.
sorts of random stuff.
I really want to go to that one, but I'm too scared, to be honest, because I'd obviously have to get a sponsor to help me out
Yep.
to get there, and I'm a bit scared that I'm going to produce something a bit naff at the end of it, because and just finding my way around Shanghai, it looks bonkers. It's something
Yeah.
I'll have to have a chat with Patrick about at some point. Is how easy it is as an ignorant Englishman.
Yep.
But I'd hate to go and everything's in Chinese, as you might expect, and
Yeah.
I don't know anything about any of the cars.
A lot of the brands, it's something that I've been quite interested in lately. Is figuring out who owns what and how everything fits together, because it is a minefield, really.
There's a video in that, Alex.
There is. I'm actually working on one actually at the moment.
ChatGPT might be helpful.
Yeah, it might be. But there was some quite interesting debuts. So MG had their Cyber X concept, which is like a big brick type thing with pop-up headlights. So it's sort of geared towards showing you what their design language might look like in the future. Announced yesterday at the show as well, they had iCar, which is a subsidiary of Chery, which owns a Moda and JQ. They said that iCar is coming to the UK next year, but it's going to be renamed to, I can't pronounce this,
iCar, because of like an Apple legal battle, isn't
That's
it?
correct, yeah.
Yeah, iCar. ICAUR.
That's a weird one. But
It is very, very odd.
Yeah. But they've got some like Jeep Wrangler type looking vehicles. They
look really cool, actually, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. The all-electric brand. So, yeah. And then Denza, which is another subsidiary of BYD, their luxury brand, they unveiled this like gorgeous-looking car. It's called the Denza Z, or Denza Z. And it's like, they said it was a Porsche 911 rival. All-electric car. Just looks absolutely mega. Like, really, really cool design. It's a 2+2, like the 911. There's no specs about it because it's a concept at this stage. But they said it could have a similar setup to the Denza Z9 GT, which is like that's the first car that's actually Denza are bringing to Europe and the UK. It's like a shooting brake type thing.
Yeah, which that's a bit Panamera, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
But this new one, actually, I saw a bit of Corvette in that. That was my instant reaction.
Yeah, I can see that. It could have 1,000 brake horsepower based on that system. So
yeah, it's insane, isn't it? I'm guessing they're making something like that, thinking about the US market, but whether tariffs make that possible for them, we'll have to wait and see.
Not sure. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, there's way more stuff than we've got time to mention. For example, BYD launched a longer, Yangwang, a subsidiary of BYD, launched a longer U8. See that huge SUV?
Yeah.
They launched a U8L, which is 5.4 meters long.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, that could be used as a cruise liner or something.
Yeah, it could. There's a fun fact on that one. Apparently, the badges are 24 karat gold. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, they definitely won't get stolen then.
No. So that looks quite fun. So yeah, the Genesis GV70 electric pricing has been launched for the UK market. I think you saw this in person at the LA Auto Show in November. It's actually on sale now. Prices from 65,915. Just quick headline stats. There's more trims available than the old GV70 EV because that one was only available in sport trim. Battery's now 84 kilowatt hours versus 77.4, and it's quite likely that the petrol version won't launch here because that's already launched in America. But it
looks like they're going to turn into a just petrol and diesel brand, really, doesn't it? And it looks like they're going to turn into an electric or hybrid brand.
I think so.
And petrol and diesel will be gone.
Yep.
In fact, I've just recorded a lease deals video this morning, and every petrol and diesel Genesis is on an unbelievable lease offer at the moment. So
Yep.
they are dumping stock for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a lovely looking thing, and even though the interior was already so plush,
Yeah.
the new interior is really striking. I mean, you've got the screen and everything looks amazing. The seats were always great, but are now even better.
Yeah.
It's just a phenomenal piece of kit.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
The Yangwang U7 Saloon. What do we know about this?
This one got launched in China in literally a few days after we recorded last month. This is a new saloon car. The front end looks very similar to that supercar that they've got, the U9, I think it's called.
U9, yeah. U9.
So this one is absolutely bonkers.
It's also got a bit of BYD seal about it, hasn't it?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it's the headlight design. Yeah, the specs on this are just absolutely crazy.
It's insane, isn't it? Absolutely. Like, everything you look at is just an insane number. This has got dual charging sockets, which can be used at the same time for a total of 500 kilowatt charging. So saying 30 to 80% in 20 minutes, which that's the bit that doesn't sound that amazing, 30 to 80% in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we routinely now see 10 to 80% in 18 minutes or something. But I guess that's because it's got an absolutely massive battery, because it's got all the power in the world and it goes like a scolded dog.
Yeah.
1,287 horsepower, 135 kilowatt hour battery, giving a range of 447 miles on the CLTC cycle. So that's probably more like early 300s in reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, 0-62 in 2.9 seconds and a top speed of 167 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
Yeah, 23.6-inch screen for the driver. 13-inch screen for the infotainment, and then two 13-inch screens in the back, and then a 6-inch screen for your passenger. And then just like that Polestar you drove, it's got a rear view camera that's digital. So
yeah,
a rear view mirror that's digital. Yeah, there's two versions. There's a hybrid version, plug-in hybrid, and then also the fully electric version. And that hybrid version is very similar to the U8, so it's got blade batteries and an engine. It gives it way more range. So,
and we're talking $86,000 to $100,000, but in China.
Yep.
So by the time that arrived here, if it ever did, you're going to be talking 150 grand, aren't you?
Oh, easily. Yeah. Crazy.
Which is a lot of money for a saloon car.
It is actually. Yeah, but yeah, what some of these Chinese brands are doing at the moment is just crazy in terms of innovation and specs.
Yeah, and it's like, let's think of the craziest thing we could do, and then they go and do it.
Yep.
I mean, this kind of stuff used to be the preserve of like a clay model concept car, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, oh yeah, well, this is what we could do, and then it would never happen. But yeah.
Yeah, this is a car that runs on water, does 8,000 miles between charges, does 0-60 in 0.5 of a second, and projects thoughts into your brain. You know, oh, is it going into production? Oh no, we can't make it.
Yeah.
I always find those sort of concept cars quite annoying, actually,
because it sort of gets your hope up, doesn't it?
But they're just so silly, some of them. And you know, when you see these concept cars and they look amazing, and then the actual production version comes out and it looks just like the old version did, but it's got some new mirrors.
Yep.
But you know.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember it wasn't last month, it was January, when we recorded that episode in person in that hotel room. We were talking about
you didn't broadcast that footage, did you? God.
We mentioned that there was this new sub brand of Nio, so called Firefly, and the car they've got is called Firefly, so it's actually the Firefly. How quick is this turnaround? So it was announced in December, and it's on sale now. That's
mad, isn't it?
I just don't understand that. It's so quick, and everyone else seems to take a year and a half, 2 years to sort of get around to doing stuff.
I guess they just decided to focus their marketing effort on a small window instead of shouting about it 18 months beforehand.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So this one's had loads of media attention. Actually, one of our favourite channels, Auto Fuel, he's already reviewed it, so I need to watch that at some point. But yeah, this little car, just to remind you, is Nio's sort of entry-level model, and it will actually go on sale in the UK. So Nio CEO has been interviewed and said, yeah, that it will come to the UK, but it's going to do Netherlands and Norway first, and you can already pre-order them. This design is so... It took me by surprise the first time I saw it last year, but it's just such a unique design. So it's on sale now in China for the equivalent of £12,371. And we know a bit more about it now. So it's got battery swapping, so Nio, that's their big USP is being able to battery swap. And you will be able to purchase it as what they're calling a BaaS, so battery as a service. So
right, okay.
You'll get it I think they said $6,000. I think this is all related to the Chinese market, but 6,000 something or other pounds cheaper than the purchase price, and you basically get like an unlimited warranty with it.
So you then lease the battery?
Yes, yeah.
Which is, if you're doing battery swaps, that's what you want, isn't it? Because
yeah.
You don't want to buy a new battery,
no,
essentially, and then the first time you need to swap it, you get an old one.
Yeah. At the moment, Nio's got 4 different generations of their battery swapping stations. This isn't compatible with those. It's only going to be compatible with the 5th gen. I'm not sure if they're going to build new stations or convert the old ones, so that's to be seen. But there's so many clever design things in this vehicle. Like, for example, the frunk is 92 litres, so it's really huge.
That's
and there's
good.
a drain plug in the bottom, so you can fill it with water if you want to. So,
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I just had something similar on the boot of the Ford Puma, the petrol Ford Puma.
Yeah.
And that's got, like, the underfloor storage in the boot is huge, and it's got a drain plug. And I thought, what a brilliant idea.
It's great, isn't it?
For throwing your wet and muddy things and being able to actually clean it out properly.
Yeah. Just like the Honda E, which you compared it to last time we spoke about it. It's got rear-wheel drive, and then that means the front wheels can turn a really, really far away to make city driving a bit easier. And the battery is 42 kilowatt hours, and there's no WLTP ranges yet, but it says 420 kilometers on the CLTC range.
I was going to say, that's a good sized battery for the size of car, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reviews I've watched already, they said the efficiency is really, really impressive.
Right.
So it is actually achieving what it says it will achieve. But yeah,
Great.
the interior for me is really impressive. But yeah, looking forward to driving that, hopefully at some point whenever it comes to the UK. But yeah, exciting
Fantastic.
times. Yeah,
indeed. What are you up to for the next month?
Right. So I got the Microlino for it was originally going to be a week, but due to insurance complications and other boring stuff, I've only got it for a day.
Okay.
So, so I've got that a day next week. So I'll film a quick review of that one. Be quite fun.
Yeah.
Smith and Sniff are going to the Morgan headquarters next week to film an episode. So I'll be going over there to show attendance, which would be good. And then I've got the Subaru Solterra, which we didn't actually mention. There's a new version coming next year already.
Yeah.
And which is quite a ways away now. I think it's January, February time next year.
Yeah.
So I've got that for a week, and then in 3 weeks' time, got the BYD Seal. Yeah. So
cool.
I think you reviewed the Seal last year, I think, and you're quite impressed with it. So
yeah, I've had the Solterra as well, which I wasn't so impressed with, but
okay.
The Seal's brilliant. It's just a lovely, lovely thing. It's good to have it in quick succession from the Tesla as well.
Yes.
Although you've got the performance version of the Tesla, which, will give you a different spin on the Tesla than if you had mine, for example.
Yeah.
but yeah, really, really nice, impressive car, and I think it's a brilliant looking thing as well.
Yeah, it does. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
What have you got coming up?
I've got next week. I've got the launch of the new Hyundai Insta, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Because that's a car that I think could do very well, and I think it's a part of the market that is quite underserved at the moment.
Yeah, agreed.
And it looks like a really cool, flexible little platform. So interested to get that out, and I think there's like 100-mile trip planned for it.
Oh, it's part of the launch.
Yeah, so
wow.
I'll get to drive it for, a decent amount of time.
Oh yeah.
And a reasonable distance.
That's cool. Yeah.
The best part is it's 20 minutes up the road from me, so that's fab. I've got the Polestar 4 at the moment, as I said, so there's a review of that coming up, and probably in the next month I'll review my Model 3 as well.
Okay.
I'm not booking in so many cars this year, because I don't know, I just need to get more. I need to focus on my sort of core channel a bit more, and I also want to do some more stuff for my travel channel because I've massively neglected that.
Oh yeah.
And I'm trying to just book in cars when it's something I'm really interested in, or I think it's going to get loads of views, and not just taking on anything. Because a fair amount of work goes into those videos, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's the complete opposite for me because I've got literally one every week until September now. So
yeah, which is great because it's probably the biggest focus on your channel is new car reviews, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and it is. Yeah. It gives you it gives you such a unique perspective on the whole market as a whole, because no one really gets, apart from YouTubers and car journalists, you never get that sense of the big sense of the car market like you can by doing this. So
yeah, completely.
It's 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks from today. We've got the SMMT Day at Millbrook. So that's an annual event, for those who aren't aware, where all the car media people get to go to the Millbrook Proving Ground near Milton Keynes and drive all the new models that are out and talk to various people. That should be good fun.
That's my favourite day of the year. I think it's brilliant.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm quite a social person, and I work alone for most of the year.
Yeah.
And it's great to just go and like hang out with sort of friends and colleagues and meet new people and catch up with a lot of the PRs and stuff. And usually take something out that's absolutely frightening and try and scare myself in it around a track.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it for this episode. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Charging Status Podcast. You can find us in video on YouTube and in audio wherever you get your podcasts. For a full description of this show, visit the episode link in the show notes. You can find links to our websites, theinterface.uk and notaguro.co.uk in the show notes too. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye.
Thanks, Jim.
Cheers, mate.